They just wanted a peaceful weekend in the desert. But something out there was watching, and it didn't want them to leave alive. I've always been the rugged, outdoorsy type. For me, the perfect getaway isn't a fancy hotel or beachside resort. It's pitching a tent in the woods, casting a line in the river, breathing in crisp mountain air. That's my kind of paradise. My girlfriend of 6 months, Lila, is the same way. Our shared love for nature was what brought us together in the first place. If you like this kind of stories, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. A couple of weeks ago, Lila and I decided to switch things up a bit. Instead of the usual lakes or forests, we set our sights on the desert. Neither of us had experienced that vast, dry, eerily quiet kind of wilderness before. It felt like something we had to try. Once in a lifetime, right? The biggest draw? The stars. We're both obsessed with stargazing. Even when we first started dating, we'd drive out past city lights just to lay on the hood of my truck, staring up at the universe in silence. So when we found a spot that was miles from any town and completely free of light pollution, we knew we had to go. I found a remote patch of legal camping land online. No amenities, no crowds, just space, fire rings, and endless stars. Perfect. We packed up our gear and hit the road early Friday morning. The last stretch was the most intense, an hour of rough dirt road that seemed to stretch on forever, not a soul or house in sight. That isolation, it was exactly what we wanted. By the time we reached the site, the sun was already beginning to dip. There wasn't a single person around, just silence and sand. For the first 2 nights, it was everything we'd hoped for. Warm during the day, cool at night, skies so clear you felt like you could fall right into them. We'd sit by the campfire with a couple of beers, pass a joint back and forth, talk about absolutely nothing, and just be. No clocks, no phones, just us and the stars. And yeah, we fooled around a bit in the tent. That was part of the fun too. Everything felt right, but both nights, we heard something strange. Off in the distance, not close, but not so far it didn't raise a few hairs. A low, stretched out sound, like a howl, or maybe a moan. It didn't quite sound human. It didn't quite sound animal, either. The first time, we both froze and looked at each other. Lila gave me that wide-eyed look. Did you hear that too? I nodded. We laughed it off. Probably a coyote, I said, or a mountain lion. Something desert-wide. She agreed. But the same sound echoed again the next night, at almost the exact same time. Weird, sure, but we figured it was just one of those desert things. Unsettling, but not threatening. Then came the third night. I woke up just past midnight. Something fell off. The air had that charged electric stillness. And then I heard it. Footsteps. Slow, deliberate, crunching the dry earth just outside the tent. My blood turned to ice. This wasn't an animal. The steps were too paced, too careful. Someone was out there. I didn't move. Couldn't. My whole body locked up. I wanted to reach for the flashlight, to wake Lila, to do something, but I was paralyzed. Heart racing, barely breathing. The steps stopped a few feet away from our tent. And then, nothing. No movement. Just silence thick enough to choke on. I stared at the roof of the tent, waiting, listening. Then I heard it. Flick. The unmistakable snap of a lighter. A small orange glow appeared against the side of the tent, about waist high. Whoever was out there held the flame steady for a few seconds, then began to wave it back and forth, slow and taunting. Still, I didn't move. Just watched in horror as the flicker turned into a glow. Brighter, bigger, like they had lit something more than just a lighter, maybe a torch. Then suddenly, they dropped it. Thump. A second later, the edge of the tent lit up. Flames leapt fast, way faster than I expected. Heat blasted in, and just like that, the haze broke. I shook Lila awake. She bolted upright and immediately grasped the danger. We didn't think. We just moved. Threw gear out of the tent, stomped and splashed water where we could. Lila grabbed a jug and dumped it on the growing blaze while I kicked dirt and stomped like mad. Eventually, we got out, but half the tent was melted, ruined. I grabbed the flashlight and scanned the pitch-black surroundings. Nothing. No movement. No sound. Whoever had done it had vanished. Lila was already packing up, hands trembling, and I jumped in to help. We started moving fast, trying to retrace our steps toward the truck. But with no landmarks and pitch black night, we were guessing. 10 minutes in, that sound came again. The same distant scream we'd heard the first 2 nights, but this time, it didn't stop. It dragged on, raw and agonized, like something being torn apart. Then another scream joined it. Then another, each one from a different direction. All behind us, all getting closer. I didn't say a word. I just grabbed Lila's hand and picked up the pace. We didn't stop. By some miracle, we stumbled across the truck. We threw everything into the back, slammed the door shut, and I floored it down the dirt road. I couldn't drive too fast. Potholes, dips, and turns made the path treacherous in the dark. Every second felt like a gamble, but we didn't slow down. Not until the dirt turned to pavement and headlights from other cars finally appeared in the distance. Lila held herself together, but I could see it. She was on the edge of breaking. I kept one hand on the wheel, the other reaching for hers, trying to offer comfort I didn't really feel myself. We reported it all to the police, gave every detail we could remember. But the only thing I keep thinking about, the thing that makes my skin crawl, is that if I weren't such a light sleeper, if I hadn't heard those first footsteps, my girlfriend and I might have been burned alive out there, in the middle of nowhere, with no one around to hear a scream.